You walk into a room, and before you say a single word, you already know who is tense. You already know which two people in the corner had an argument recently. You already know that the person laughing the loudest is the one having the hardest time. You didn't ask for this. You didn't try to notice any of it. It just came in automatically, quietly, like breathing. And while everyone else is talking, filling the room with words, you are sitting with something far more interesting, the truth underneath the words. People have called you quiet your whole life, reserved, hard to read, mysterious sometimes. But here is what they've never understood. You were never absent from the conversation. You were the only one actually paying attention. There is a kind of person who moves through the world like a still lake, calm on the surface, but underneath, registering everything. Every shift in tone, every micro-expression that flashed across someone's face for half a second before they composed themselves. Every word that was chosen carefully, and every word that was avoided entirely. Most people don't notice these things, not because they aren't intelligent, but because their attention is pointed outward towards speaking. The silent observer's attention is pointed inward and downward. Psychology describes this trait as a combination of sensory processing sensitivity and heightened social cognition. Together, produce a person who experiences the world at a resolution that most people simply don't have access to. You are not quiet because you have nothing to say. You are quiet because you are processing something that most people in the room haven't even detected yet. And today, we are going to explore exactly what that means, where it comes from, and why the thing that has made you feel out of place your entire life is actually one of the rarest and most profound ways a human mind can be built. Chapter 1. The Neuroscience of the Observant Mind. Let's start with what is actually happening inside your brain. Research on sensory processing sensitivity has shown that roughly 15 to 20% of the population has a nervous system that processes incoming information more deeply than average. Not just sights and sounds, everything. Emotional atmosphere, social undercurrents, the feeling of a room, the weight of what goes unsaid. For these individuals, the brain's processing pathways are more active, more thorough, and more connected to regions associated with empathy, awareness, and reflection. In simple terms, where most people receive information and move on, your brain lingers. It cross-references, it compares, it asks what this moment reminds it of, what it might mean, what lies beneath the obvious explanation. This is not overthinking. This is a different depth of field, like a camera that is always set to capture more than the eye can naturally see. Chapter 2. Where the silence comes from. Here is a question worth sitting with. Were you always this quiet? Or did you become quiet because the world kept showing you that speaking wasn't always safe? For many silent observers, the watching came first. Before they ever had words for what they were sensing, they were already picking up on things. The mood in the house before anyone spoke, the difference between what a parent said and what their face actually meant, the way certain rooms felt different depending on who had just left them. Children who grow up in emotionally complex environments, homes with inconsistency, unpredictability, or emotional volatility, often develop their observational capacity as a survival skill. If you can read the room quickly enough, you can prepare. You can adjust, soften, disappear if necessary. Watching becomes the strategy. Silence becomes the armor. And over years, that armor becomes so comfortable, so much a part of how you move through the world, that you forget it was ever a defense at all. You just think of yourself as someone who prefers to listen. Chapter 3. The burden of seeing too much. Now let's talk about the part that is genuinely hard. Because seeing clearly is not always a gift. Sometimes it is a weight. You sit in a conversation and you know that what someone is telling you is not the full truth. Not because they're lying exactly, but because their words and their energy are telling two different stories. And you have to decide in real time whether to name it or let it pass. You watch people make decisions that you can already see will not end the way they hope. You sense the tension building in a relationship long before either person in it is ready to acknowledge it. You carry the emotional undercurrents of every room you walk through. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as empathic absorption, the tendency to take on the emotional states of others without consciously choosing to. It is one of the most common and least discussed sources of exhaustion for highly observant people, because you didn't just visit that room today, you brought it home with you. The conversation you analyzed on the drive back, the expression on someone's face that you're still trying to decode 3 hours later, the feeling that something is off somewhere, and you can't rest until you understand what it is. This is the cost of clarity, and it is real, and it deserves to be named as such, not dismissed as sensitivity, not minimized as overthinking, but recognized as the very real metabolic and emotional cost of living at high resolution in a low resolution world. Chapter 4. What the Silent Watcher actually brings to the world. Here is what I want you to understand about your gift. The world is full of people who are talking, constantly, loudly, confidently, and many of those people are talking past each other, missing each other completely, saying words that land nowhere near the thing that actually needed to be said. You are the person in the room who knows what actually needed to be said. You are the person who notices when someone is struggling before they've admitted it to themselves. You are the person who silence in the right moment because people sense that you are actually with them, not performing presence, not waiting for your turn to speak, actually there. The greatest therapists in the world are silent observers. The greatest writers, the greatest leaders, not the loud ones, but the ones who make decisions that last, the people who changed the course of someone else's life, often with a single, perfectly observed, because they had been watching long enough to know exactly what that person needed to hear. That is you. That has always been you. So let's give this the name it deserves. You are not quiet because you are passive. You are quiet because you are precise. You have learned through years of observation that words are expensive, that they carry weight, that the wrong ones cost something, and so you spend them carefully. That is not a social deficiency, that is wisdom. You are not on the edges of conversations because you don't belong in them. You are on the edges because that is where the full picture is visible. Anyone can stand in the middle of something and see what is directly in front of them. It takes a particular kind of mind to step back, take in the whole frame, and understand what is actually happening. That is what you do, automatically, constantly, without being asked. The world has spent a long time trying to make you louder, trying to convince you that your value only counts if it can be heard from across the room. But some of the most important things that have ever happened between two human beings happened in the quiet, in the moment someone finally felt seen, in the look that said, "I noticed, I understand, you don't have to explain." You have been giving people that gift your entire life, without a word, without asking for anything in return. You are not someone who has nothing to say. You are someone who waits until what they say matters. And in a world that never stops talking, that is not a weakness. That is everything.